Hi, I'm Patricia from JH Berhad. May I speak with Mr. Daniel?
Hi, luckily you are speaking with the right person. I'm Daniel Fitri, advisor for the finance seed company. Do you still remember that we chat briefly a couple weeks ago?
Yes, definitely. Thank God I can still reach you. Well, actually, my company is having some problems where we cannot manage our working capital efficiently. Not just that, we also unable to utilize our current asset. Thus, it affect our production where we cannot produce sufficient product, especially during celebrated festival because of lack of manpower.
Yes, our firm work with people like you who want to navigate their business earnings and also find ways in order to balancing their working capitals and also to achieve their financial goals. So, how your production lines cannot get expand? Can you tell us why?
From our concern, my company still don't know how to invest the money that we have inside the bank. Plus, we also in the shortage of money and need to do some short-term financing to overcome this problem.
Thank you for talking over with me and also plans with me today. So our firm will as soon as possible find a way in detail to help you expand your production lines and also get money and also get more profit. Okay, before that, enjoy our corporate video. We work with companies across the full spectrum of financial services including banking, payments, takaful, wealth and asset management and capital markets. Our highly collaborative approach is designed to help you manage risk, reduce costs, innovate, boost customer loyalty, and turn data and analytics into a competitive weapon and achieve breakthrough digital transformations.
With deep experience across every sector of financial services, we work side by side with you and are fully invested in your success. We treat your business as it is were our own. We can help you develop clear, practical action plans and implement them efficiently to ensure you achieve real and sustainable performance improvement. We have unmatched expertise across every strategic and operational area that financial services firms are currently focused on, augmented by a broad array of specialized capabilities.
Well, asset management and private banking institutions need to be at the top of their game to satisfy the expectation of a sophisticated clientele. We work closely with companies across the sector on a wide range of strategy and operational enhancements to ensure you are positioned to provide the highest quality asset management, investment advice and financial planning services so our clients meet their financial goals.
Why you should hire us as your financial consultancy firm? There are three main reasons why you should hire us as your financial consultant.
First of all, we have the skills and expertise to help you plan your financial future and help you make sense of your current financial situation. This is important because most of people cannot handle their finance on their own and need someone who has the right knowledge and experience to get them out of trouble.
A professional will also be able to help you deal with your current financial challenges and improve your credit score over time.
Finally, it is important to have us as your professional since we know what we are doing when it comes to investing your money, especially when you have never done something before.
For my part, I will explain three components of current asset and three components of current liability. First component from current asset is bank. A bank is a type of financial institution that is allowed to take deposits and provide loans. Financial services such as wealth management, currency exchange, and safe deposit boxes may be offered by banks. Retail, commercial, or corporate and investment banks are among the several types of banks. Banks are governed by the national government or central bank in most nations. Banks play a critical role in the economy by providing essential services to both consumers and companies. They provide you with a secure place to deposit your money as a financial services provider. The company can make an investment to a suitable bank with the cash in hand that they have. The investments can give them extra money to benefit them in many ways. Second component from current asset is account receivable. The amount of money due to a company for goods or services delivered or utilized but not yet paid for consumer is known as account receivables. Account receivables are listed as a current asset on the balance sheet. Any sum due by customer for purchases made on credit is referred to account receivable. In other words, account receivable refers to a company's overdue bills or the money owed by customer. They usually include terms that demand payments to be made within a short period of time. The company need to sort out their account receivables and ask the debtor to pay in advance. The money that they receive can be used as an extra capital to buy their stuff so that they can produce more product during the Malaysian Celebration Festival. Third and last component from current asset is inventory. The term inventory refers to both the raw materials utilized in production and the finished goods that are ready to sell. Inventory is one of a company's most valuable assets because inventory turnover is one of the key sources of revenue production and as a result earnings for the company's shareholders. Raw materials, work in progress and finished goods are the three forms of inventory. On a company's balance sheet, it's classified as a current asset. Any business's inventory is a valuable asset. It is defined as a company's inventory of raw materials or finished items held in the normal course of business. Next, three components from current liabilities. First component is account payable. Account payable is a general ledger account that shows a company's obligation to pay its creditor or suppliers for a short-term debt. Another typical meaning of account payable is the business's department or division in charge of making payments to suppliers and other creditors on behalf of the company. The overall accounts payable balance of a corporation at a given moment in time will be shown on its balance sheet in the current liabilities column. Account payables are debt that must be paid in a certain amount of time in order to avoid default. The company need to ask the account payable holder to extend the payback duration. If the account payable holder agree to extend, the money that should be paid to the account payable can be used to produce their products more. Second component of current liability is a short-term debt. Short-term debt is a firm's financial obligations that are expected to be paid off within a year. It is listed under the current liabilities portion of the total liabilities section of a company's balance sheet. A company's debt or obligations are typically divided into two categories, which is financial and operating. The former is the outcome of efforts made to raise funds in order to expand the firm, whilst the latter is the result of obligations emerging from normal business operation. Hence, the company can use short-term debt to earn extra capital or cash in order for them to run the factory. The money from short-term debt can be used for them to hire employees to overcome the issue of lack of manpower. With that money, they can pay salary to all their new workers. Third component of current liability is overdraft bank. When there is not enough money in an account to fund a transaction or withdrawal, it is called an overdraft. In essence, it is a financial institution's extension of credit given within a customer account's balance reaches zero. The overdraft allows the account holder to withdraw money, even if there are no funds in the account or insufficient cash to pay the withdrawal amount. An overdraft account allows a bank to cover payments made by a customer that would otherwise be rejected, or in the case of physical checks, bounce and be returned unpaid. A borrower pays interest on an overdraft loan's outstanding balance just like any other loan. The interest rate on the loan is frequently lower than the interest rate on credit card, making the overdraft a preferable short-term solution in an emergency case.
Bank is a current asset that is important, especially when running a business. It plays a critical function, especially in terms of safekeeping our money without holding a large amount of cash. JHY Berhad is actually a large company because they produce a large quantity of apparel and the amount of money is also huge. Bank is one of the important current assets because it is where the company put their money. With bank, they can track their record and expenses automatically. This helps the company process and flow become easier. Besides that, bank also provide online banking system that is very helpful in nowadays system, which is everything conducted through online. Bank function in the company is providing online services and keep the company money. Account receivables can be categorized as current assets because the customer did not pay yet the amount of money to the company. Basically, account receivable is one of the important assets in sustainability of the company. Functionality of account receivables in JHY Berhad is key component, especially in the manufactured apparel product. It is because in manufacture of apparel can be wide range and also have drop shipper for their products. This drop shipper can be one of the account receivables for the company. JHY Berhad should utilize this account receivable, especially when it comes to the money usage. For big company, this account receivable should be used in order to pay off the maintenance and use the money when received as an investment. So, the main function of these account receivables assets is to keep the company sustained in the industry. Inventory is a current asset because it is volatile assets. For example, in JHY Berhad, inventory for the company is the apparel products. The inventory is very important because it means the product that will be sold in the industry. The quantity of the inventory must expect customer demand. Higher the demand, higher the production should the company make. If it did not expect the customer demand, the company loyalty will be decreased. In JHY Berhad situation, they cannot produce their products during celebrated festivals because of lack manpower. It is the problem for the company because during the festival, the company should get more advantage from the situation. JHY Berhad should get more manpower, for example, hire the part-timers in order to produce more products or inventory. Account payable is current liabilities because the company need to pay suppliers some amount of money. Usually the type of payment used in deferred payment, which is company pay monthly or as agreed in contract below than a year. Even though account payable look like disadvantage for the company, but it also gives advantage. For example, advantage of account payable is it gives some space for the company to get more money to pay the money. Sometimes large company did not have money to pay for the supplier in bulk. Account payable is one of the initiatives for the company to lessen the burden. It is important for the company, especially when company short of money to pay in bulk. Short-term debt can be defined as when the company borrows some amount of money for short-term usage. Basically, the term is less than 1 year. For example, if JHY Berhad need money in short time, they can find any financial institution that give financing less than 1 year. For the financing, it divided into two, which is conventional, which is based on interest, and Islamic financing, which is based on buy and sell contract. JHY Berhad need to find the financial institution that give financing less than a year with low interest or low profit margin. JHY Berhad can find financial consultant to give the advice. Bank overdraft is one of the important current liabilities, especially when the company need cash or pay something, but they don't have that amount of money. Basically, bank will give the company some amount of money but have to pay for less than a year or as soon as the company get the money back. This helps the company a lot, but this bank overdraft just uses for emergency only. It's because the higher amount of money borrows with bank, higher the interest rate. JHY Berhad should examine their financial records regularly to avoid any accrued money.
It is vital for any Muslim investor like JHY Berhad to ensure her earnings, assets and liabilities are Sharia compliant. Sharia compliance also covers income acquired via various investments in addition to wages and money gained through business. The current assets such as bank also needs to adhere with Sharia. In Islamic finance, the word Sharia compliant refers to a financial product, service or activity that adheres to Sharia standards or called as Islamic law. This means that a Sharia compliant bank account can manage your deposit to support any economic activity and business activity unless there is a clear prohibition that it is not permitted. Sharia banking also refers to financial services that follow Islamic religious regulations. Some of the fundamental principles are borrowing money without paying interest or providing interest to savers, not being able to be involved in prohibited activities such as gambling, pornography, alcohol, or tobacco, not gambling in high-risk ventures or transactions with a great lot of uncertainty, and banks and share profits and risks with customers. Sharia bank accounts are comparable to regular bank accounts in that they allow you to handle your business account in the same way that you would with any other bank. For example, JHY Berhad can make use of a debit card, make use of internet banking, set up recurring payments, making direct debits, make use of a checkbook, and money in bank can be transferred to other accounts. For account receivable, the origin of this asset can be traced back to Islamic bank lending facilities, which are a type of debt buying contraction. The cost of these assets will be determined by the creditworthiness of the consumer, the rate of return, and state of the economy. Account receivable and cash are less than 50% of total assets only can be considered as Sharia compliant. On Sharia perspective, it also represents the amounts due from clients of an Islamic bank as a result of selling transactions based on Islamic financial instruments such as murabaha, salam, and istisna. Murabaha receivables, for example, are short and long-term obligations payable to a murabaha seller such as an Islamic bank for goods purchased on credit open account. This is the amount of money due by a murabaha buyer to the seller, commodity price plus a certain markup. Moreover, the consideration of inventory will depend on what is actually sold. As long as what the JHY Berhad apparel represents is halal and lawful, then a sale of an inventory which incorporates all rights to the underlying, including proprietary rights, will be a typical sale of an asset, just that is sale of inventory. Current liabilities, which are account payable, short-term debt, and overdraft bank, must also be Sharia compliant. In Sharia perspective, it is crucial to note, however, that is not forbidden in Islam. Islamic teachings advocate for the poor and vulnerable being protected from economic exploitation. It is due to interest charge would exacerbate the financial burden. Muslims are not permitted to gain from earning interest. Short-term debt here included car fund. Funds may be raised in a variety of methods to suit the demands and financing requirements of individuals and organizations. One of the many options for meeting this need is to take out a loan. Qard and dayn are terms used in the Islamic framework to describe the granting and receiving of loans. The term dayn, on the other hand, has a broader meaning than word qard. Dayn incurs a debt as a responsibility to another party, which must be paid later without any profit over the principal amounts. Qard, on the other hand, may be characterized as an interest-free loan made on a goodwill basis to poor borrowers. In particular, Qard Al Hassan offers cash for humanitarian and welfare objectives without any profit to the lender. A dine, on the other hand, is the consequence of any credit or contract transaction. The generate obligation should be repaid in full with no profit over the principal. Salaf is a variant of dine that resembles salam. Salaf is similar to dine in that it is used for a fixed term loan. Salaf includes loans for short, intermediate and long-term loans, and the price of the commodity is paid in advance and delivered at a later date. Salaf payments are non-refundable if they are made before the due date. As a result, the seller, JHY Berhad, now has a responsibility to deliver the product in the future. Last but not least, Sharia-compliant overdraft financing for working capital requirements, personal consumption or purchase of asset or properties. The Sharia contract applied is murabahah, cost plus profit sale via commodity murabahah or tawaru arrangement.
Next, we move to summary and also decisions for the JHY Berhad. First of all, I will talk about the current assets. So based on the analytics and also data that we collect, so the current assets that most suitable for the JHY Berhad is the component of inventory. So this inventory is a current asset because in the situation it states that JHY Berhad lack of manpower and also they produce less or they cannot produce more apparel during the celebrated festival in Malaysia. As we know, during celebrated festival in Malaysia, it should have higher demand of the apparel, so JHY Berhad should take advantage in this situation, but they lack of the productions. So inventory component is most suitable for that because they should increase their inventory. So how they can increase their inventory? First of all, the idea is they can hire part-timers. They should utilize their money in the banks or their cash hiring part-timers during the celebrated festival in Malaysia. So it will help them to produce more product and more apparels and they can get profit more from that. Next decision is for the current liabilities. So for the current liabilities, we choose the short-term debt. Short-term debt component is a current liabilities because in the situations it states that JHY Berhad need money as soon as possible to expand their production line. So basically they need money. So how they can get money or how they can get short-term debt? JHY Berhad can find short-term debt in banks, in financial institutions or any other financing company that offer short-term debt to a big company such as JHY Berhad. So with this money, they can use it as advantage for them to produce more apparel and also expand their production line. Basically, this is advantage for them to get more money, especially during the celebrated festival in Malaysia. So JHY Berhad should take these two actions, which is first, increase their inventory, second, get short-term debt as soon as possible.